the one I sent you. He's very crude, but he's a very good teacher.
Gotcha. I'm so surprised that I could have swore you disparaged the cage system.
I don't think it was a disparagement. I don't think I truly got it until recently. So
Shocking. I feel like maybe I told you about it, or not told you about it,
Excuse me?
but told you about like me learning about it,
Obviously not.
yeah.
and you had heard of it maybe, but
What do you want?
I guess
Yeah,
that
I
was
mean
probably
everybody's heard of it. I was like, okay,
There's no time for this.
what
that
does
was
it
yeah
do?
that was probably
All right. How'd the stream look, guys?
let's see. Wait a second. Oh wow, it's looking good.
It's not looking good.
I mean, it's a little blurry, but the
Looking,
choppiness is gone.
probably looking a little marginally better. Okay.
Actually, I'm the only one that looks blurry. It's
Um,
whatever.
if it's looking a little better, I'll praise this. Gotta work with what we can. Let's see. Let's hope it holds out too. All right. So yeah, this is definitely one of the more makeshift streams and podcasts. So if you catch it, you catch it. A lot of our views come from our videos that we post anyway. So it is what it is. Anyway, all the same, I still greatly appreciate hanging out, maxing with y'all, and hearing what y'all think about some of these topics. And this is the first actual topic of the 2026. So I want to start with something light, but kind of low key touches on what some of the stuff we'll be talking about and what we talked about earlier. So let's actually just go straight to the poster. So it's at Soren Gale. I don't know. So they posted something that I think kind of delves into like a grander topic, not grander topic, but a grander thought on technology, where people thought you would be in a certain year, where we're comfortable, where we're at, what we expect to have, horrors, kind of blends into sci-fi almost. So they just posted a quick post. My unpopular opinion, hot take: I actually do not desire to see technology advance any further. And yeah, without kind of trying to break you down to some higher level of dystopian, or I guess utopian sci-fi reality, I'm just kind of curious to know what y'all think about this hot take, or maybe y'all have hot takes of your own. What do you think? Do you agree with this hot take, this sentiment? Do you desire or expect technology to continue to advance way further than what we're at now, or do you agree that where we're at, we're pretty functional and safe as a society, and anything else would just be like annoying? We'll start with you, Ghost. What do you say?
This is first completely random. I just now realized after you said it that dystopian and utopian are like have the same root and they're just the opposites of each other. I don't know how I never made that connection before, but yeah. So
You
to
know, it's all
actually
good.
answer the question,
We're all here to learn something.
I learn something new every day, even if it's super obvious. Or to actually answer the question, I I wouldn't say that I'm opposed to us like advancing technology and coming up with new cool shit. But I think the type of technology is really what it boils down to. Because when I'm a whole time, like when I was younger, when I'm older now, when I'm thinking of technology advancing, I'm thinking of Back to the Future. We got hoverboards, and we got um the instant meals you put in the microwave, and it gives you a whole full cooked home cooked meal. I'm thinking of flying cars, etc., etc. All the stuff that's kind of typically been displayed in media for the years on years. And what it's really become is more subtle advancements in certain fields and respects, and then a lot of AI. uh, and y'all know how I feel about AI, but even outside of that, like I just honestly want some cool shit because it utility is good, but I feel like we kind of have gotten to the point where uh, utility technology as it comes to implementing it alongside utility and usefulness of everyday things, I think it is what it is, and I just want more. Like I want holographic stuff,
Holograms.
like you get up in the morning and you got you flick your fingers in front of you and you got holographic weather for the day, stuff like that. Which I mean, I know we have it on our phones and all that, so it functionally wouldn't be that much different, but just kind of along those same veins. I just want cool stuff.
Nice metric of where we want to be. We just want to have cool shit according to ghosts.
Exactly.
Holographic stuff. Okay.
I feel as if I could dig into that further because, like, where does cool shit stop and start? Like, you want holograms, but do you want
It
like
just you
brain?
where
Do you
we
want brain? Do you want brain chips where you can just automatically see it? See
I
the
mean,
technology.
even though I wouldn't want a brain chips, yeah, stuff like that. Honestly, like I want it to be something that you see it in a sci-fi movie set in
You want to be part.
2150,
You want to be
and
part
then
cyborg.
I just said I don't want to have it done to myself, but if it was an option, I think that's really what I want. Like we're watching like friggin' some movie set in the future, and it's like, oh wow, that's cool. That's what I mean by cool shit. As simple as that.
Fair enough. Like I said, we'll keep it light. Uh, what
Um,
about what about you, Ace? What do you think of this hot take? Do you agree? Are you fine where technology has gotten, or are you trying to see some real out of the bounds, out of the norm shit? Where you stand with where technology's at?
Um, I, I don't know. I think I'm getting to the point in my life where I'm kind of trying to distance myself from overindulgence in technology. Um, when I was younger, like what Ghost is saying is pretty much my whole thought process when I was younger. Like I would have loved holograms and holographic technology and virtual reality type stuff. Like again, just like you said, all the cool stuff you see in the media portrayals of like the future. Um, I was definitely super into wanting to see even better video game technology and things like that. But I mean, I just have found that these days I'm like you guys have seen the transformation of my room. Like I'm trying to just peel back and
Minimalistic.
um yeah, exactly, become more minimalistic and less reliant on or not reliant, but indulgent, like I said, in technology. Um so I completely I get the take and I of course can see where it's coming from if there's any relation to AI.
Yeah.
Um I will also say too though that perhaps my statement could be a little bit of a like a from a privileged standpoint. Like I feel like I have a lot of the things I want in terms of technology too. So maybe if I didn't, I wouldn't be saying these things. Um, but yeah, I mean, just for me personally, I'm perfectly fine with where technology is right now. Um, and I would be fine if it stayed here into perpetuity. Um, so I guess that's where I land.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then what about you, Wes? Where's your stance on where we're at with technology? You want to see further progression? Are you cool or comfortable where we're at? Think it's too much, too little?
Yeah, I think of course it depends on how you define technology, but if taken in the traditional sense, we're talking about like advancements in computer type technology and uh I think I've been having more like Luddite thoughts, but at the same time, I if I'm going to be
I don't think
completely
something has to
honest,
have a
I
computer is
agree.
considered technology, but
What's that?
I don't think that's the definition. I don't think it has to be something that is make use of a computer.
I mean, computer, telephone, peripherals, these things all use software uh, or some type of yeah, electronic hardware. That's what I'm talking about. Um, and so, but I agree with the actual the comments that are going around there in terms of the medical technology. I do like to see medical advances that bring people some type of comfort or especially like even like I'm one of the most anti-transhumanism people ever. But when I see that they're developing robotic limbs for people who've already lost a limb that are really more and more realistic and prosthetics and things like this, that does make me feel good. And I have to admit that. But I know it'll be abused. But beyond that, I think those things are good, and knowing the way humans are, and that they're not going to stop trying to advance things. I think this aspect of it, for people who actually need it, does make me happy to see. Beyond that, I don't think there's anything in relation to like I said, computer tech, like anything that involves electronic hardware and stuff like that. I don't think there's anything in my life right now that requires any new technology or invention, or that I would even if I had the means or the wherewithal to be in the mode where I'm buying that thing, I probably wouldn't even necessarily buy it now. It's just for pleasure. None of the things that bring me pleasure right now require any super new advancements in technology. I think one thing that could be cool is kind of to Ghost's point with the hologram is maybe some better or more tech surrounding um surrounding like communications. Uh I always say like I don't understand why phone call quality is
Hmm.
still I mean it has improved, I'll admit, in certain cases. It's still crap though. Like that doesn't make
It's
any
awful.
sense. And then yeah, if there was something like you could holographically project yourself into your friend's house or whatever your family's house so that you could spend some time virtually, that could be interesting. That could be
What's the
interesting.
difference between that and
But
FaceTime?
this time I mean, you're looking at a screen. It's just a screen in front of you. I'm talking about like a 3D thing, like in Star Wars where they had the little pod that walks and you're. Although I don't know if you really get the experience
It would have to be virtual reality.
because you'd have
Like
to, yeah,
they
you'd have to
tried to
put
do it with
the
the
headset
yeah,
on with the
they kind
metaverse.
of did it with that. Yeah, with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just
But
cartoony, but
yeah, it's cartoony, and I mean, I don't know. I never tried it, but of course that would be abused too with escapism, all of it. But yeah, no, and generally I don't mind the idea of stopping now, but I know that's irrational, never gonna happen. Oh yeah, and then of course, as someone who works in technology and research, I should say that manufacturing technology and stuff like that is cool. Building technology, building houses and things for people in regions where they don't have it. If there's advancements that can make that smoother, streamlined, or manufacturing that can make things more accessible to people who need more expensive things. Okay, but of course that's going to get abused too because we have cheap, fast manufacturing and we make crap that doesn't last and comes from China, TV, and all that stuff. But yeah, that's my take in so many words.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. It kind of just boils down for me in general. I feel is the moral of the story. Well, I think we all kind of get to an age where we're kind of off of it as far as something that we see, especially with the advancement of like AI and usage of that. Um, the reality is it sucks, but we can't ever stop like the progression of like technology because that's just the general. That's like I want to say human nature, but it might just be like any being's nature to continue to progress technological wise. Um, like there's a continual desire to make things more efficient, more modernized, more streamlined, and that that innate desire, is what allows us to continually evolve and develop.
It's got
Obviously,
to be
like
just humans.
I think
I,
Does
so.
anything else
I
do
think
this?
I want to say that, but I don't know. Primates might also fall in that category, and
Primates
also
can use tools, but I don't know. I mean, I don't see it happening.
and it's also interesting because we kind of have how would you even describe it, like domination over animals. So we don't necessarily know if given leaving throwing devices if they would over time seek out ways to be more efficient. Um, but yeah, at a baseline, it's something that just has to happen. And but like you're saying, Wes, obviously with all these things, they can and will be used throughout time. That's just kind of also what comes with things like that. Um, yeah, to what you're saying, and also what's I know in the comments, I think one of the things that people can all get on board with is advances with and health and medical wise. It's crazy, and the reason why I even thought to bring not there's multiple reasons, but one of the reasons I thought to bring is because I don't know if anyone's been peeping, but there's been like a almost strains urgent not urgency um new identifications and like healthcare advancements recently. Like they're finding ways to detect some cancers earlier on, some ways to remove certain cells. I was just reading an article recently about they found ways to slow down, if not eliminate, Alzheimer's. Um, so I don't know if 2026 is the year of medical advancements, but there's definitely been quite a few in the recent months, if not weeks. Which is something we can all be on board with because we all want to like improve our quality of life for the patient's health. Um, but yeah, outside of that, I think a lot of stuff we could just take it or leave it. I don't know. And then also my last point on this, I think it kind of boils down to like I think what also kind of determines like technological advancements is like just generally thinking like day to day like you have a problem and how can you like solve it, and that usually comes by the way of like implementing this. I think if we were to ever get to a point, and that's what I kind of mentioned like utopia, if we ever get to a point in society where we don't necessarily feel as if we have a bevy of problems to address, I think that would be when we start to slow down, if that's even possible.
I'll
Oh,
say
yeah, go
one
ahead.
more one more quick thing from me. Um, I feel like a lot of the technological advancements happen at the detriment of the environment, even with the renewable energy um like sector or whatever. You got solar panels and batteries and things like this, and it's like, well, where do those things go when they're depleted and all of that stuff, and the natural elements that are getting stripped from the earth in order to produce these things, like not only the issues with the production themselves, but also the fact that those things are finite. Like there's so many problems with just progressing with technology at the expense of the earth, the
You
planet.
know,
Um
Isn't AI supposed to be like super bad for
yeah,
planet or
because
something? Use a
yeah,
lot of
exactly, because it
even though
uses
there are a lot
resources.
of technologies that are based and are for the progression of like not progression, but like they're created for like sustainability purposes. Maybe those things aren't necessarily should be held in the same like train of thought. Like maybe there's an argument like some philosophers would argue that like in order to get to the high places of advancement or technology, we should think of like the Earth as like a finite like living situation. Like you have
Yeah,
to think about like you could even map out like an equation like if we continue at X pace, we will be able to survive in this world for X thousands or hundreds of
Yeah.
thousands of years.
I'll be dead by now, so who cares?
Yeah, my
Those
point
are-
was just that if there is
Oh.
any further development, I would want it to be with actual like 1-to-1
Offsetting?
offsetting of any
Love that.
detriment that it causes. One like and immediate too, because we put it off and be like, well, in X amount of years we'll be 100% offset. I want like immediate, like, and maybe it's impossible, but if it is impossible, then I do think the technological advancement
Just gotta stop.
they need to stop. It's ridiculous.
Like I said, those things may not be able to coexist.
I was gonna say there's one thing that might slow us down though, which is not a good thing, but the brain drain, or it's not even the term, but brain rot of the younger generations.
If people
I
are
feel
too
like-
stupid to make technological
Exactly.
advances, then we don't have a problem. That's a hilarious take, but pretty
At
valid.
the same time, the AI might just do it itself.
That is true.
Yeah, I don't like where this is going. And plus, we have a topic on AI related stuff. So save some of those thoughts. But if not anything else on specifically about this, or sorry, let me rephrase that. Do we have anything else on this topic specifically?
Not anything real, but I'm surprised you didn't bring up Bluetooth, Ace, given your disdain for it.
Isn't it crazy how Bluetooth is really standing the test of time? Like, how long did like discs? So, like, what was the life cycle of discs?
Floppy disks?
No, not floppy disks, just discs.
DVDs?
Oh, CDs?
CDs.
I mean, Bluetooth has
But
issues
in our
with
lifetime,
CDs, bro.
a lot
Like
less.
scratching and
20 years maybe?
It just seems like we're not even like. I mean, I don't want to say close. It just seems like there's even anything on the horizon that was gonna like take over like Bluetooth.
Somebody else. I think it was a comedian who was like, Bluetooth doesn't work.
Yes.
Like, if it's not
Bluetooth is
reliable,
so overhated,
99% of the time, it doesn't.
It is
work.
reliable most of the time. It's just hated. People are too
It's
spoiled.
so glitchy, man.
It's fine. It's not perfect, but it's fine. People just be hating on it to hate.
The problem is it's not reliable. Like when you plug a headphones in, you know what's gonna happen every time.
I mean,
You try
I
to
think
connect Bluetooth to one thing, and then it's trying to connect to another thing.
90% of the time it's gonna work. Come on.
When you have an urgent need to get set up,
when you have an urgent
need to get set up, there's always a moment where
yes, it has its issues, but at the end of the day, the benefit to not having 50 wires need to plug in, it outweighs it.
And also, you don't know if it's gonna work when you plug something in. There's obviously mechanical.
No.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on. You say no.
Something?
You're telling me you never plugged anything in and the wire was broken or the wire gets
you
frayed?
know the wire is broken.
A...
It's like, okay, the wire is broken. But Bluetooth,
okay, but it's still an inconvenience.
Brand new thing, brand new headphones. You try to, and it's like connecting to the car. It's like, what? No, I'm not in the car.
Mean, maybe if you're getting stuff from friggin' Dollar Tree or something, it's not connected right. But...
you think the price changes? Nah.
I'm talking about like some of those cheap knockoff of the fake AirPods and stuff like that.
Yeah, but even the most expensive item. Yeah.
Yes. The problem is with
y'all
Bluetooth
are
itself.
being too dramatic. Bluetooth is fine. I mean, if something came out and replaced it, I'm not gonna say no, but for what we got, it's fine.
All the same. Unless there's anything else, we can move on to the next topic. I think it's in the order that I want it. Yes, moving right along. Speaking of AI and technology and how it's just so ingrained in our society, this is something that I came across like a few months back at this point. So this sabbatical in Munich, at CS Professor or Prof KGD. They posted professors are turning to oral exams to stop AI use, and I don't really know what this picture of. I'm assuming it is a professor about to give an oral exam
Like an
to a
AI
student.
image.
What is it? Yeah, wouldn't it be ironic if this account is AI, like, and they just made an AI post and got engagement from it? Oh, you know,
Oh,
okay.
oh, it
They
goes to
No,
a,
give them
I think
okay.
it's a one-on-one thing. I guess it has to be.
What is it? Let me see that.
Yeah, I
Let me
guess
see
it
that
would.
article real quick. What's returning to? Oh, never mind.
Oh my God, never mind.
Well,
No,
the article is about professors going to oral exams instead of obviously electronic or written to prevent the use of AI. Something we can all understand, I would think. And I think this is relatively simple as well. And by and large, you think you guys could get on board with something like this? If you were in school and this was being incorporated, would you feel better about this? From a teacher's perspective, do you think this is a better way to gauge a person's understanding of something? Because honestly, I've spoken with some teachers and getting their sentiments on like AI usage, and a lot of them either don't know or they just like they understand that's going to be used, and they like not say they modify their grading for it, but they take into account when grading. If it sounds too manufactured, they scale their grade, and if opposed to if it sounds like a human wrote it, I'm no expert on how you would uh, be critical when judging that. But as far as this general idea of you know exams being more oral, more front facing, that the thing that comes to my mind. It takes up a lot more time. But what do you guys think about it in general? Let's start with you, Wes. What do you think?
I'm 1,000% on board. Um, although there's also the handwritten
Yeah,
exams
that's what I
as
don't
well.
get.
So I don't know why they wouldn't decide to do handwritten in class exams as well. Maybe they still think that people are gonna cheat with something, their phone or something hidden or something. I don't know.
Don't let them use phones.
Exactly. I think that could be done. I had a class where it was
People got those
all
watches these days, though, and glasses.
They got AI pens now, so.
You got to do the tuning
But yeah.
exams on them.
But yeah, I had a class where it was all 100% in class writing assignments. So you sit down, a certain day, he tells you what's going to be on the or what the prompt is going to be, or what you need to study for the thing, and you read, you study, and then you go in class and you write for the whole period. And
If you give them a heads up
I
about
enjoyed
what the
that.
prompt would be, which you should, they can obviously do the AI breakdown though, and they come with it.
Yeah, but they're still going to have to remember it and write it coherently. These kids, they don't even have the capacity to do that. So if they have the capacity to do even that, to get the summary, keep it in their head, and write it on paper, that's already better than what we're dealing with. So I think I think this is fine. I think this is good. I think assignments need to be in class, handwritten, and or oral. You just need to eliminate. I mean, if you're gonna have homework or whatever, and they need to do something, it should be something substantial where they have to put together a large amount of information. It has to be, you have to assign harder projects if you know that AI exists, and projects that engage them and make them pull together sources in a way that that is not just one step, write the paper. Like you have to make more complex assignments, and then yeah, you have to test them without the possibility of using the tool. That's all you can do.
Do you think not to like make it competitive? Do you think one or the other get you a better gauge of like whether somebody has like understanding or comprehension or something, whether they have to verbally articulate it or write it down?
I think it's two different skills. I think it's two separate abilities that both need to be trained. So I think
What do you think?
I think
Which one do you think is more useful though?
I think they're both incredibly useful in today's world. I think
There's no way you do this with engineering
articulating.
exams, though.
That's the thing.
Like
Yeah.
any type of mathematical or
You
science,
you got to write
for the most
your
part. Yeah.
answers in math and science. But this could actually really help in math and science because there's a lot of people who know the formulas and know how to
True.
do the thing, but they don't actually know how to explain what they're doing. And
True,
that
true, true, true.
could actually be something that improves even on what we did. Like
That's very true. I agree.
being able to speak through a mathematical principle or a method that we don't really do that necessarily in math.
I just ask because I always agree that like you said, both are incredibly important. I think in this day and age, being able to verbally articulate something, is a bit more important, especially if we are going to accept the fact that technology is so prevalent. Like a lot of systems and platforms are going to like closed caption what you're saying. So it's almost
Yeah,
like
but
it's almost like if you can verbally articulate your understanding or comprehension of something, it's gonna end up being translated somewhere down the line.
yeah, but at the same time, you being able to write helps you articulate and helps you process things in the way that uh you or in a way in a depth that you might not immediately get. Like if you just practice speaking and articulating things verbally and you didn't practice writing it, sometimes it helps to clarify your thoughts and organize them when you write more too. So I think a
Yeah,
combination of
so
the
you're
two
saying the written would help
are
you
fortunes.
with the spoken.
Yeah, I think
Right.
it's
So you
more of
could
an
say that the
argument of what's
spoken is more
better.
important, but yeah, you could
I
say it,
agree
but
with Quest.
I think
I think spoken is in this day and age more and more important than written.
I don't know. I don't know. I think in any case, these kids need to to be doing the exams in a controlled way where they can't rely on AI.
And what about you, Ace? What do you think of this type of practice? Do you think it be beneficial? Do you think that you would have preferred if you would be comfortable with if a lot of your exams back in there were oral and you couldn't use or face to face and you couldn't use any level of technology while doing it? Not that you did, but just putting yourself in the
Yeah,
seat of somebody that had to does do it like this.
yeah. I'm kind of gonna echo Wes. Like, I agree that curbing the use of AI in academia is super important. I don't necessarily think that switching to oral exams is uh, a necessary solution because, like, if you just, you know, control the environment for written exams, you achieve the same result. People not being able to use AI, but but yeah, don't Wes brought up a great point about um the practical benefits of oral exams in terms of having to have an understanding of, like, if it's for engineering or whatever, like engineering principles in order to answer more theoretical questions. I think that that actually would be super helpful. And now I'm thinking about it, the professional engineering exam for like structural engineering, like just pure structural engineering, I'm pretty sure like half the exam, or yeah, there's like it's a 2-day exam, and one of the days, pretty sure, is all an oral exam, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. Um, so like even within engineering, there is definite like examples of where this is used for the highest level of achievement in engineering. Um, so yeah, again, in terms of AI, I don't necessarily think this is necessary since you can control the environment for written exams, um, but yeah, in principle, it's a good thing, and uh, maybe yeah, incorporating it more. I understand how it could help people have a
Gotcha.
better understanding.
And then what about you, Ghost? What do you think of this practice? Think it makes sense? If you're a professor, would you be cool with sitting down with a bunch of stoners and getting and hearing them explain something?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what Ace and Wes are saying. Uh, I'm I'm definitely on board with this And in some cases, I know they mentioned like you can have handwritten exams, but I do think oral exams might be a little better because in a test taking environment, it's a lot easier for one as a test taker to kind of get caught up or lose track of what you're trying to do and figure out like if we're just like strictly looking at tests, like is this a trick question, or you kind of can lose sight of the point of what the class is, which is to learn, and to when you take an exam you're just showing your knowledge. So I think, which obviously it's a lot more time consuming for a professor to like speak with every individual student, have an oral exam, but it can give you an idea of if there's truly an understanding by the people that are in the class, like with a back and forth rapport with the professor. And I'd like to know, like, do you know what you're talking about? Do you conceptually get the point of this class, or did you just BS your way through it with AI? Because to be fair, you can BS your way through a lot of stuff when you're writing and just try to make stuff sound good, even if you really don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But if someone's actively asking you questions and you're going back and forth, it's easier to, or it's harder to fake that. So I'm definitely on board with
You've
Sorry,
all seen
what'd you
people
say?
yada yada. You've all seen people yada yada their way to getting a decent grade on a paper.
Yeah, and I mean you can do that verbally too, but it's more apparent like when someone is just spewing BS like a politician just to do it, and they don't really mean what they're saying, versus if it's handwritten. But I am on board with this.
Okay. So it sounds like we're pretty on board and comfortable with this type of practice. Now, not to play AI devil's advocate, I think it's pretty defined here that we're all kind of against the application of AI and the overusage in a lot of ways. So the points y'all are bringing up, I think where my brain goes, in a lot of fields or industries or practices or just aspects of life, the overuses of AI and over reliance on it to come up with solutions and to address problems, that's obviously like it's not gonna work. Like we literally hear horror stories of people using AI for legal counsel, for medical guidance, and to literally like, we're considered like people that are dealing with things using AI and it leading them to control alt delete themselves. But for the average person, I think one could argue AI and technology in general just kind of brings them up to the standard of where a person that is like needing to be able to calculate and troubleshoot through things on a higher level would be. So basically, I don't know. Could you make the case that for the average person, like what is actually the problem with them relying on AI as much as we rely on any other technology to make us more efficient in our like average everyday lives?
Atrophy your brain.
Damn. That don't
Well,
sound-
if you're not using your brain in the first
Yeah, exactly.
place, this kind of
who's like it kind of goes back to that
Yeah,
thing.
no,
Which
no.
I don't know if it's probably 100% been debunked, but like how and like a lot of medias will be like, oh, this guy uses more than 10% of his brain or whatever the case would be.
Yeah.
Do we ever get the math on how much brain usage the average person actually uses or needs to use?
Most. The average person uses most of their brain in different capacities.
We're
But
always talking about figuratively. Obviously, brain does 1,000,001.
we're not using the full capacity of our brain, no. But we're using, as far as the regions of our brain, they all, or a lot of them, most of them light up. But the
I'm saying
synapses.
figuratively, we know our brain has 1,000,001 functions. I'm saying, as far as critical thinking,
Mhm.
is
All right.
who says we need to? That person.
No. So let me develop what I was saying in terms of atrophying the brain. There's things that we do and we use. For example, most people will use Google Maps. The connections that are in your brain in order
Like Waze
to
now.
whatever it is, in order to navigate those atrophy, and we lose that skill of navigation. We lose the skill of perception of where places are, and the capacity to navigate with very little information, or having seen something
That's a
less
great
than
example, though.
a
One
few
can
times.
make the case we don't need that.
Counterpoint.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine,
What if you never
fine.
had that skill in the first place, like me?
No, not
That's
me
a
either.
wild thing to come
I'm
on here and
saying it's
admit.
not a counterpoint. No, that's not a counterpoint.
That's
I
definitely a
agree. I mean,
counterpoint. I don't know why you said
I'm
that.
with you. I've never been strong with navigation. I'll be with you. But the thing is, other skills like basic critical thinking, basic interaction with people, and emotional skills, and things like that that we need to exercise every day. Those things, if you were to just get answers every day, like, okay, for example, writing. I'll take writing for example. Me, I I don't know, depending on y'all. I might write not for work purposes more than any of us. I'm not sure if that holds true.
This might be a bad
But
example, because how often is that person to like write something that's not like just directions or something quick?
it's a uh it's just a reference. So hear me out. Me who writes for fun. I write a lot to process things and for creative writing. And even I've noticed that especially when I started to write more again, my writing skills, my ease that I had with writing had atrophied because I just hadn't done it. Yeah, you write text, you write emails, you write this, you write that. You might put together some presentations for work. You might put together documents for work. But that skill of writing like raw with necessarily no input, no sources or whatever, and just trying to develop an idea, that atrophies very quickly. That is an example of, to me, that is an example of putting thoughts together, putting words together, and being able to articulate ideas. If you don't practice this skill, if you don't practice a skill like that, it atrophies and it makes it harder for you to articulate yourself on certain ideas and to develop your ideas. If you're always looking for, okay, I have this idea, but I'm not actually going to write it out. I'm just going to get the answer. And that is my response. I read it once. That's my response. That part of your brain that works on that thing is not going to, you're going to lose it. Same thing with math. Same thing. All these skills, they atrophy over time, naturally even.
The problem is you're not describing a problem for the average person. Like, we're saying brain atrophy, and that sounds like a problem. But I'm posing: does the average person? Maybe the average person doesn't need to.
The average person doesn't need critical reasoning skills in their life. They don't need to calculate a budget. They don't need to.
Well, okay. To
No,
be
you put in
fair,
your expenses in the AI calculator, and it tells you
Yeah,
what you need to spend and save.
to be fair, like
Literally,
to
no.
Quest's
He's
point,
saying before AI.
Who's saying before?
Like,
that?
Exactly.
Wes, he's saying
I'm talking about
before
now.
AI, you had to rely on
Well,
AI
I think-
tools to figure these things out.
Why
but
are
the
we talking about before
counterpoint
AI?
is like,
We're talking about
why do we need these tools? Like, what
Yeah,
applications?
He's
y'all
saying
are not
because
presenting
he's
a-
comparing now having AI to before when we didn't have the tools, the detriment over time, like with the incorporation
again,
of AI, the bad things
what
that we're
is-
seeing.
what is so I guess outside of like the overall overarching concept of AI and the negativity of as it relates to like people just not being able to use their brain. But I think what I'm saying and what Quest is saying is like certain skills that you're talking about, like the applicability and not being able to use them anymore. I think you're correct. But like why does it matter if we lose certain specific skills as long as it's not like a widespread degradation of the brain? Like let's say you lose the skill
It
to
is.
The thing is, I'm not.
It is-
No,
even if it is
just
a
imagine,
degradation of
it's
brain,
it
not
goes to
not
the
come
point
off
where
like
you
dumb, but
it goes
imagine a person like completely they're quote unquote, maybe young, old, it doesn't really matter. They use AI tools for every aspect of their life, like they rarely ever they're just ingrained in it, and they came to you and they're like, oh, why should I not use it? You can tell them that their brain's going to degrade all they want, but if the way they're getting by life is just completely fine, then what are you saying to them?
that person is first, that person is already lost. They've lost a
So
certain.
insult them.
No. I'm not.
And thereby they're
It
doing
is the
fine.
fact.
They're
No,
loving
okay,
life.
fine. It is a fact. That person is already lost, and their brain has already atrophied. At that point, I'm not. If I have a conversation with them, they're going to be speaking through ChatGPT, so it doesn't even matter. Like, but the thing
So you
that
can't present the
lose-
argument. So why they should get on board what you're saying?
Hold on. Imagine.
I'm just trying to get to the. I'm trying to get to the shit.
No,
You can't
listen.
Provide an argument for why they should get on board what you're saying.
No,
Okay,
not to them. Not to
okay,
them. I can provide it to you. Imagine you.
Well, I'm coming from the standpoint. That's what I was saying. Coming from the standpoint that you're not even describing.
No,
why
you're
it's
not.
a
You're
big
not.
problem.
You're not. Because if you were at the point that this person was at, we could not have this conversation. Not without them relying upon some other outside sources to supply their brain with thoughts. The thing, and I'm exaggerating, but we're going to the logical end. The thing that I can tell you and that you can understand is that you imagine that you were trying to do a simple addition problem on paper and you find yourself blocked. You find yourself incapable of doing that thing. Would you not find, there's something wrong here? Would you not feel upset at the fact that you've gone to the point where you no longer can rely on your own mental faculties to do basic things that you used to be able to do easily?
So you're
This would
saying-
apply across all domains.
So you're saying the person might feel bad that they can't do it themselves.
They would lose a certain human experience of life that we were able to have before these things took over everything that we
But
did.
in their minds, they haven't lost anything.
Exactly.
The
And
thing is, it's
if
not
you
even
want
just
to be,
it's not even just like their mind and like we're kind of dismissing it as their loss. You can't even articulate why this is a problem.
to them, to you,
No,
I
I think-
can. What do you mean?
No. I get what Quest is saying. Why? Okay, we reached the end state. I'm being kind of facetious here, but I'm kind of not.
We're
We reached the end state.
No, I mean, you're arguing for the
not being able
Matrix.
to reason. And,
Yes, exactly. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
you're arguing
That's it.
why is the
You
Matrix
got
so
it. You
bad?
got it.
And
You got
I
it.
mean,
All
yeah,
right.
okay, fine.
All right.
You can
All
say
right.
that.
At least
Like-
at least it's funny. I can
Why
allow that.
not be in a drugged out state and not understand anything that's
You
going
got
on
it.
around me? Why not be in a vegetative state? Like, why
Yeah.
not? If ever, I'm
Okay.
fine. I feel
All
okay in my
right.
head.
Okay. All right.
It is.
All right. Listen, as long as it's funny, I'll get on board with that.
Like, only people who have experienced life and can understand this will be sorry for the people who can't. Like, there's an experience of life that they're going to miss out on. And especially, we're not even talking about the fact that, okay, what if the system is down? What if internet's off? Like, we're not even going there.
yeah,
but just
to
the
be
fact
honest,
that
that's
they're
where you
losing
start
a
as
certain
far as
richness.
arguments.
No, I mean, it's not even that. To me, there's something deeper that's more disturbing. And that
I'm not
is
saying
the
that's
richness
the
that
worst.
would.
That's the worst reason why it's a problem. I'm just saying that's the reason.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
problem.
I
That's the
mean-
thing that immediately came to my mind. A person that can't function without AI, they won't be able to function if it's.
But somebody
not
could
available.
easily say, but what if that never happens? What if the internet is always up?
I
Okay.
don't know.
I still think that there's some.
I don't know if a single person, even the youngest person who has not experienced a blackout, but
Yeah, I don't know.
regardless, and the funny part is, like, I'm putting a lot of sauce on it, and like we're being a bit exaggerative. But here's where I think I 100% think you could a person that's like really they use AI for damn everything. I think you could explain to them why they should rely on their own like technical.
No.
awareness. I
The
think
kids can't read.
okay, but this is not. It's not the Offspring song. The kids are all right. Like we can figure out how to communicate to people and get them to be in a space where they can like develop.
The kids are gonna say, "Why do I need to be able to read that? Why do I need to be able to?"
And I think you, as a moderately intelligent person, can explain to them why it's beneficial.
I mean, it's gonna end up being
you
the
just
same
went through
circular
the
argument.
devil's advocate.
It's gonna be the same exact argument we just had.
Yes.
But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, instead of us reaching the logical conclusion that yes, the Matrix is not good, if you can't convey that to someone that the Matrix is not good, because like objectively, like if you're experiencing it, you can't really explain why it's bad. You can't. So it's gonna lead to a there's no real conclusion.
You just mentioned like two solid reasons. Yeah, I'm just saying I believe in you. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, obviously, you don't want to spin our wheels on AI and the problems with it all day. The moral of this story is beyond all the back and forth, yes, rely on your own critical thoughts, be able to troubleshoot how to problem solve without usage, and also be fine with like failing and like figuring things out like that as well.
Oh yeah, you have to fail as well because you can't actually learn if you don't make mistakes. You act like your brain doesn't learn if you're not making mistakes that you can correct or that are being corrected and you can understand. Like it does not work. Learning doesn't work.
Yeah. But again, I'm sure there'll be a million more topics on this. So unless there's anything else right now, we can move on to the next topic.
Briefly.
Also, AI be wrong too.
I dropped.
We didn't even take into effect that it can't.
Hold on, I can't hear what y'all saying.
That is another big argument. Say what you were saying first, Wes.
Yeah, I was just saying AI is wrong, is often wrong too, and we're operating on the premise that it's right.
I've been saying this, by the way. I've been saying this from the
No, you got it. You got it.
Y'all
You
told
got it,
me I was
Ghost.
crazy.
No, you got it. You got it. You got it.
Just another one. There's another reason why I feel you could easily, or not easily, but you could break it down to somebody. And then what were you saying, Ace?
Dropped a video by OpenAI in the chat. Where it's basically like a promotional video about using ChatGPT to fix your car.
Is it
Get a car running.
Hold on, okay. I kind of want to. I think I'm actually sharing the full thing. But...
Also, real quick,
It might have been
you
a Super Bowl.
you
Group
can't
chat,
necessarily tell somebody that AI is wrong who believes that AI is right.
It wouldn't be that AI is wrong or right. It's that you should be able to also use the tools, God-given tools that you have.
Oh, 30 seconds. I'm gonna play this real quick.
It's a legitimate commercial.
Let's just go inside.
No. Hold on. Okay. Go. It's gonna turn on right now.
Take your break. Time to I told you. Okay. You don't have long to go. Hurry up. Let's go. Remember me.
You dead ass right now, bro.
You notice the
didn't tell
comments
us-
are turned off.
It didn't say shit. Oh my god. Yeah, I would have watched.
556 likes.
And they can't.
People hated this.
This isn't saying shit.
To be honest, again, this is how a lot of young people definitely navigate if there's some breakdown.
I mean, the funny part is, I've certainly used ChatGPT to help me debug or troubleshoot some stuff of late to like my.
No one here is. I mean, we kind of put a
code,
pin on it. I think we said it, but no one here is denying the use of using it to resolve some things in our everyday lives.
I am.
You got to know how to use it, and that's a very a simple statement, but there's a lot.
Why do we need to?
All right,
we're
moving
not,
on right along.
we're not getting into this again. Okay.
Okay, so this is not necessarily technology based, but I feel as it kind of blends with the general theming of advancements of where we are as a society, for better or for worse. So I don't know if y'all heard about this or anyone's familiar with this. I haven't even looked into the full how. I mean, it says the University of Arkansas is looking into it, so I guess we have some level of credence. But Salute to Dex Hero, this post from a while back now. A new study has shown that raccoons are showing early signs of domestication. Yes, read that right. The University of Arkansas found that urban raccoons have smaller snouts, a sign of domestication syndrome. Look at that, you learn something new every day. So, again, these topics, I don't think anything's, although we kind of spent a little time on the AI thing, I don't think there's anything worth deep diving on, but I'm super curious to know what you guys think of this. In terms of domestication, we have the basics. We have cats, dogs, birds, some reptiles. And I think people don't necessarily often think about are cattle and farm animals considered domesticated as well?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, outside of farm animals, we think of the general animals that we have domesticated. I don't think we often think about domesticating other things. I know like whatchamacallit, wealthy people and people of certain regions, they have like lions for pets and big cats. But obviously, I don't think by and large we think of those as domesticated. Some people have monkeys. I don't know what even the social view on that. But as far as new animals to be domesticated, I don't know if people often think about that, but apparently we have signs of evolution in raccoons in particular. And I guess without getting too philosophical, what do we think about the idea of other animals, I guess such as raccoons, being domesticated? Or are we, or do we believe that do we have the general belief that the more the merrier, like everything that walks, breathes, flies should be domesticated? Or is this kind of creepy and y'all have no desire for a pet raccoon? We'll start with you, Ace. What do you think?
I mean, it seems to be a natural thing. Like, it doesn't seem like they're saying that people are uh, deliberately trying to have raccoons as pets, and that's why they're becoming domesticated. They're just becoming domesticated because they're in urban environments. So,
We might
I
have to do some
mean,
research, but that's still human caused.
yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, on from the perspective of humans are going to be in places, like humans are going to live in places, and those places are going to encroach on natural habitats, whatever, of these animals. I think it's kind of, there's not much you can do about it per se. Like, it's just going to happen. Um, so I'm not necessarily like, I can't. It's hard to be against something that's just going to happen regardless. Um, I don't even know how you would prevent it. Like, you can't really say people like
Exterminate.
cities can't exterminate. What?
And or bring in or bring in a prey. That's a
Why?
I don't
No,
know
why would you want to do that though?
if you don't want it to be domesticated.
Why not? So you kill them all? Like, well, that seems insane to me. What?
I
If from my
mean,
perspective, somebody who doesn't want them to be domesticated would be like, "Oh, it's a bad thing that humans are, encroaching on their territory." And you're saying kill them all. Like that's not what
okay. Okay.
that person would go
I like
to.
when I bring up example. I'm just answering your question. Obviously, you could just like um put down not traps but anti raccoon related material things, like
So
I'm sure
prevent
there's
them from getting into places where people are.
exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, but I guess, but I just for me personally, like, I don't necessarily think I can be for or against something that's just occurring like supernaturally. I don't think there's any way to any uh, uh realistic way to control that.
And maybe we have to
Um,
do a bit of homework, because while this does make it seem like it is happening, like this natural progression with industrialization, modernization, urbanization, I don't know, some Asian. Um, is that how it's worked for other animals? It seems like there was some high level of intentionality with other animals.
for
All
sure.
farm related animals for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Cats might have been
Dog,
actually more
cats.
natural, but I think dogs. There was a point in time where people started like actually making use of like dogs that were in the wild.
Yeah, literally
Mhm,
dog breeding.
Yeah.
That whole
mhm.
thing.
Yep. Yeah, they bred them
So,
for the
so I
purpose of it.
wonder. And by the way, I was gonna wait till later, but to be honest, while it's usually a people of more lower quality of life, I've definitely seen people have raccoons on leashes. It's not gonna be. It's probably gonna be in the ghetto, but I've definitely seen people with raccoons on leashes. Um,
Yeah, but I don't know, from the actual standpoint of people having raccoons as pets, I actually I don't really have a problem with it any more than like I don't necessarily see why it's any better or worse than dogs or cats.
you
Like,
put raccoons in the same category as a cat?
yeah, I don't see I mean, once you domesticate them and like if you can train it so it's not going
You
into
just
people's
offended a lot of
trash,
cat owners
like
out there.
you said.
You just offended a lot of cat owners out there.
Yeah, if you could train it and it's essentially this, acts the same as any other pet, I don't see what's the difference. Like, I don't see the
I mean,
problem
it
at all.
depends on its level of intelligence. Going back to the intelligence of specific animals in conversation.
Yeah, it does depend on how much of a nuisance it becomes. If it's not a nuisance, essentially, there's like the animal itself. It's an animal. Like there's so many different pets that people have. Like a hamster is essentially a rat. Like there's
Now you're offending the
there's not
hamster
much
owners.
difference. There's not much different. Hamster, gerbil, rat, mouse. Like I don't. It's whatever.
I'll probably come back to some of that stuff. What about you? What do you think? What do you think when you hear this? Is alarming? Is like make sense to you? Or would you be cool with a raccoon pet? Raccoon.
It is what it is, but I don't want any pets. So I think it doesn't bother me. It doesn't do much to to me. Like I think I don't
If
really
you went to one of
understand
your if you went to
domestication.
one of your homies,
Ah.
homegirls' house, and they had a pet raccoon, and I don't think it would be in a cage, and it was just chilling on that couch, you'd be comfortable?
You gonna pet that pet raccoon?
Comfortable? Nah, not necessarily, but like Ace was saying, domestication involves I did read a little bit, but domestication involves less aggressiveness and a smaller build and everything,
Yeah, but
and so
we've all seen a pet dog bite.
which is true. But I think I'd be just as comfortable with a cat. Yeah,
You be as
go
comfortable
with Ace.
as a raccoon with a cat?
Yeah,
What are
although
y'all
I
talking
don't know.
about right now? There's no way. If y'all pull up to my house and I had a pet raccoon, y'all are petting it and not looking at me sideways.
I'm not petting the
Come on.
cat. Cats are
I
vindictive.
am.
I don't like
am.
cats.
You're petting
I
that pet
am.
raccoon.
Yes. Once I know, it's like, oh, this is your pet. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
Dog.
raccoon.
Yeah, it's
pet it
a
up.
pet. You tell me it's a
Like,
pet. It's a pet.
bro.
Like,
Oh my god. Y'all capping, bro. Y'all
I'm not
capping.
capping.
I'm not petting.
Crazy.
I'm not petting the raccoon.
I don't
but-
see the difference between a raccoon and any other domesticated animal, and I'm
I
willing
think
to
the-
pet any other domesticated animal.
Yeah, except the
only
raccoons are known disease carriers, rabies,
The
spreaders.
only
It's
thing-
domesticated.
He got his shots.
them.
The only thing
You can
is-
still get domesticated dogs and cats can still freaking get
Exactly.
so don't pet
Dogs
the
and
dog or
cats can be
cat.
just as dangerous, and I'm still
Exactly.
willing to pet them.
The only thing that I will say is that the nature of a raccoon, I'm not sure what to compare it to, but that's it. Like, I know that cats
Aren't they like-
are
aren't they
usually
technically bears?
docile, but they can be vindictive. Dogs are usually playful, but they can be dangerous. Like I have a sense. Raccoons typically are just mischievous and getting your trash can, but that's not necessarily domestic, and I don't know what they're like in a domestic setting. So that's the only thing that makes it different. But once I know that y'all are cool with the thing, I'm not necessarily, like I said, I'm not necessarily petting it. I'm not necessarily being around it, but it's your animal. Like I'm on the record, I don't want any animal. So
That's
I
wild.
wouldn't keep a pet, period. So I'm not the person that's gonna be like, oh, I would like my dog, but not not a raccoon. No, I'm not in that camp of having pets. But it would just depend on the nature of the animal that I'm not quite sure about for a domesticated raccoon. But it doesn't do anything to me. That's fine if y'all want to do that.
Damn. That's messed up. 'Cause I was gonna follow up and ask, is there any animals that y'all would like to see more domesticated? I'm like, you don't really care.
No, I guess dangerous ones that hurt people, I guess. But
Bears?
Wait. So I think we're getting confused. Domestication doesn't just mean immediately the animal is completely friendly and harmless. Like we hear the stories of quote unquote domesticated monkeys and stuff tearing their owners' faces off.
Yes.
An animal's nature is innate into itself, and yet you can
Okay.
try to domesticate some animals, but people will claim domestication even if it's not actually happening. So
I'm
by
not saying active domestication. I'm saying because they call it domestication syndrome, and I don't think that the raccoons, they didn't say that this is people doing this domestication process. It's that they're in proximity to people and they're becoming more docile and becoming more domesticated. If it's a case where the animals are around people and they're dangerous animals and they typically hurt people, but now they're showing trends of domestication, I think that's fine. I think that's probably better for the interaction between those animals and the people. I'm not saying we should go find the animals and try to bring them into our houses, to be clear.
Dang. To go to what you're saying, I wonder if a person should be like the animals they don't like. That's the ones that should be domesticated. Because I've seen people with pet skunks.
Lord.
I've definitely seen people with pet skunks. If we could get to a point where skunks don't spray people, that'd be pretty lit.
Yeah.
The literal biological function.
Well, they spray
not against people.
Yeah, they spray when
not against people, but domesticated dogs aren't supposed to go to the bathroom in the house, and they shouldn't do it.
Understand why you keep doing that with the dogs.
Like that
what do you believe about dogs? That people shouldn't have them?
I mean, I'm joking, but my whole stance is that I think there's some animals that even if they're claimed science domestication, they are never going to truly be domesticated because, again, an animal's nature is
what animal do you think can be domesticated then?
This is a scientific term, though.
they're saying early signs, bro.
No, but I'm saying they call it domestication syndrome. It has markers. Like if there's a point where people say scientifically this animal is domesticated.
Well,
now your argument is a different
argument. I'm skeptical against them scientifically claiming it because I'm sure there've been there's been studies in domestication syndrome. There's another quote unquote domesticated pets, and then they end up going to destroying their owners and doing something crazy because
they probably actually have nuts.
That doesn't seem to be a criteria.
A dog that is domesticated and attacks its owner because it just wilds out, it's still a domesticated dog.
Yeah,
it doesn't get undone because it temporarily.
It's also an anomaly.
Yeah, we don't look at domestication on an individual basis. We don't look at one wild dog as dogs are not domesticated.
Correct. Yes, it's an anomaly. But that anomaly is an anomaly because it's a domesticated animal that has an outlier case. I'm saying that if you're claiming that these other types of animals, a raccoon or a monkey, if they claim domestication, people claim that they domesticated wild tigers. But it's not an anomaly if it turns around and annihilates.
You don't claim to domesticate
I think the term
individual
tame. You can tame an animal.
Creature.
Exactly. You can tame an individual. Exactly.
An individual animal can, like you said, act according to its innate nature any day of the week.
Domestication, as they said, the snout smaller, like it involves physical markers a lot of the time. If you take a tiger today and you domesticate it, it's not necessarily going to show like physical changes in its, well, maybe it gets a little bit smaller because it is not eating the same things or whatever, but it's not like a biological change in the species. I think that's the difference.
Well, you're saying it's not a biological change in the species?
I'm saying if you take one and you tame it, But if you're saying if they're talking about domestication, it seems to be a more generational thing. Like these raccoons are showing biological changes in the trends of their actual biology. It's not just we took one raccoon in and now it's domesticated.
They can claim the species all they want.
They can claim it.
I'm skeptical.
I mean, I think you're talking about ownership of the animal and more so.
Yeah. You're talking about ownership because we're literally they're literally saying the snout.
Well, I'm also like but it could just be a different. It could be literally just still a
Wow,
wild
that's
raccoon, and they
crazy.
claim it's domestic. How is that crazy?
That's
What?
crazy.
How is that
No, I
crazy?
mean,
They're
That's
completely.
you're
perfectly
saying the
logical.
entire
Wait,
entire
you're saying it's
field of
crazy for
biology
me?
don't know
No, you're saying
Yeah.
that
don't
it's
know how to
crazy.
classify it anymore.
How
right
many
now.
how many species and how many different animals and all that are being discovered to this? Well, to be fair, not that
Nah,
much,
bro,
but
that's-
it could just be like a scientist isn't
questioning
familiar
the
with the
message.
specific species.
Nah,
how
that's
is it?
crazy.
What do you mean that's crazy? That happens all
they're
the
like
time.
tagging them. They're tagging them and observing them.
Yeah, this would
generations.
not get to
They're
this
not just-
point of like
not just-
you're making articles about it unless an extensive level of research.
Oh, you tell me that people don't lie
No.
on the internet? They wouldn't just make an article that's not accurate.
No, I don't think the
Ghost.
University of Arkansas is lying. Yeah, that's not my base
They
assumption.
could just be publishing this early signs. It's a new study
Ghost.
that doesn't have anything
Ghost.
definitive.
All right.
Ghost.
Now we
You
can't
can
just, if you don't want to believe something,
You
we
can
can't. There's
challenge
nothing to
the
go back and forth about
concept,
that.
but you're gonna have to strengthen your understanding of the subject, as we all do. But you're going kind of far for the
Yeah, come on
challenge.
now.
Y'all,
You
y'all
haven't read
saying
the
that
documentation.
Come on.
y'all haven't either. Your
I'm on
whole
the
y'all's
Wikipedia
whole
page right now. Okay, it's Wikipedia,
All right,
but
okay.
it's
Okay.
a thing. Like
I
No.
I
No.
still just
Hold on.
think-
Let's all settle down for a second. We're like, the podcast is relatively like, hunky dory. We're keeping things light. Yes, we obviously deep dive and research when in as much as possible, but we should not take a headline or article where they say a university is looking into this and based assumption not believe it. I don't think we want to be in that type of environment.
well,
I
I'm not saying
I mean,
that the university is lying. I'm saying that it's preemptive for them to be claiming this when it could be something that has verifiably happened, where they
The thing is, they're
they
basing
think
it
that
off.
it's a new species and it's really not a new species.
The thing is,
Ghost,
they're
your
basing it off
question
of
should
what
be,
it looks like when domestication
what
happens.
is domestication? Not
Like they're basing it off what happened to dogs
They're-
over time
they're
when they were
bugging
domesticated.
out.
What happened to cats over time when they were domesticated? What
Over the
happened to-
span of friggin' thousands of however many years.
We've had
versus-
raccoons in cities for a long time, I'm pretty sure.
like you believe that
Human
at this point,
cities
and this
and
point of like the life cycle of Earth, if something's changing, we've seen it enough times for it to make sense. What's happening? You believe that? We can assess based off patterns, based off trends.
We can, but I'm also saying that there have been cases where they think, not in the specific case of domestication, but where they think they found a new species, but it's really a subset of a species that already existed. And I'm saying this could be
That
something.
would be an interesting rebuttal if you did the research and came up with
Oh my!
I don't like it. I don't
Okay,
like
so
what you're
wait,
saying.
no.
I don't like how
We
you're saying that,
just
No, I'm saying seriously, that would be something if you made. I'm being kind of facetious. If you made a YouTube video on that or wrote an article on that, it would be interesting to me.
So I gotta make the YouTube video, and y'all can look at some friggin' Twitter post where it claims a new study showing early signs
That's
with
why
no
I
definitive
said,
documentation.
what is domestication syndrome and what is this about? And I just tried to read a little bit so I could speak a little bit intelligently. And it seems to be a thing. And there's a classification. They have reasoning behind it. It's not arbitrary to say. And it's not just the fact that we're putting them in our house. It seems like it's not just that humans are saying, "Oh, we're going to breed them this way," necessarily. So that being the case, if that is true, I leave the caveat because I'm not a biologist. I'm not an expert in this at all. But if that is the case, that domestication syndrome is a thing with traits that can be identified and specified and done, science can be done on it, then what it sounds like it's saying is that these raccoons are showing those signs. That's it. It's not saying anything necessarily more than that. As far as should we have them as pets or should we? That's our questions. But
Man, it sucks. I kind of want to be wrapping up around this time. One other quick angle I wanted to touch on. We gotta bring it back to we have the B1 Beefield podcast. And you know what's crazy? I don't know if I dreamed this because I dream about us podcasting, or if I asked you guys this. Did I ever ask you guys? Do you believe that there are some diseases that from a biblical, spiritual, religious connotation, however you want to frame it, aren't meant to be curable.
I think we
You
did
asked
talk
us.
about this. Yeah.
And by that logic, if you believe that there are some that should not, would you guys say that there are some animals that are meant to be just innately dangerous? Like what's the brother's name? Caleb. Oh, I forgot. Caleb. His video on wasps. Those killer wasps.
Oh my god,
mean-
that's a classic.
Absolutely yes. Like most time made
Uh,
animals a certain way.
No. I mean, it depends. How far back we going? We're talking after Adam and Eve or before?
What?
Right,
What?
right. No, that's a great point.
I said before.
You
right?
got to
Right.
explain that point to me because I don't understand.
Because
Concisely.
man wasn't, according to the Bible, man was not created to be mortal or to die. So with the question about the diseases, if men originally stayed in
Then
his proper function
Yes, post.
and ate of the fruit of the tree of life,
I thought you were talking about
then yes,
the animals?
obviously.
I thought we were talking about the animals thing.
No, I'm gonna get to that too. No, I'm gonna get to that
Obviously.
too. I believe the same thing. I believe that there was teeth of wild beasts for punishment and things like this, but that was in relation to death. And then you have in Revelations talking about the lion laying down with the sheep and going back to basically the perfect order that was in the Garden of Eden. I don't believe that there was necessarily predation in the same way. It's not. At least it's not. It's not a concrete fact. It's not a concrete thing that we could say. That's a fact, but it's not. Or I should say, it's not part of the word to say that there was predation in the Garden of Eden. And
So you think
evil
it's
animals or
there's
evil.
potential that in the Garden of Eden there was. I guess I get the point, but get your point. But it's kind of moot because I don't want to say it's moot because it's definitely valid. But for the
Because it's,
purposes of our argument, like literally all of most recorded histories after that, I guess.
Yeah. No, I feel you, and I think there's an expedience for it. Yes, after that instance, but no, I was just saying it to say that that's not necessarily what God wanted
Wow.
according to Scripture.
You just made me think of a very interesting question. How long were Adam and Eve like alive before the fall?
I mean, it
Like,
could
could it have been
literally.
thousands of years?
Did it give?
It definitely
know.
didn't give.
I don't think it
After
gave
the
Adam-
creation, it didn't give a time frame. I don't think.
Or Adam's age? Like
Adam's
I don't
age.
know.
Adam's age.
Did
Oh,
we
that
get
he
that?
died?
There's a possibility that they gave his death age.
Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, they probably did actually.
I don't know. They give a lot of death ages in the Old Testament, but I don't. Because this usually they have like the whole pages of the genealogy,
Yeah,
and then they
it's,
say when the person dies. But would they have?
I think it was 930. If Google is
Yeah, I'm
correct.
saying that too. Yeah, right.
Yeah, trust that AI.
I wonder what we.
I mean that could be post fall potentially, but
Oh,
there's actually
well,
how was his age determined since he was a? Actually, that's another good question. How was his age determined since he was already a full-grown man when God created him? Yeah, so he was never a child, which is also it's another interesting thing to think about. But I would think that his age
Alright,
would
my
be
bad.
930.
We don't know what classifying as child. We don't technically know what age they were created. We just know they probably would have had to have been of age when Eve was created.
Yeah.
Anyway, not to go down the whole biblical rabbit hole, but yeah, it is interesting to think about because if we're saying that this type of thing is happening naturally or somewhat naturally with progression, I wonder if there's anything that could be domesticated that was never meant to be.
Bigfoot. No, I'm just-
Leviathan.
If raccoons, the moral of the story for me,
Never
if
meant to be
raccoons end up really
domesticated.
doing be like full domesticated, I think bears would be like somewhat next. because bears cause too much
Good
trouble.
luck. Good luck.
But
The Russians already did it.
yo, you ever see those yo, bears be super cool Russians. I don't know, they got the sauce. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Y'all are killing me. There's no way you actually think that a bear, if a bear showing signs of domestication syndrome, that y'all taking that at face value. Come on.
Dog, it's
Wait,
just
what?
two different questions. Does
Yes.
the bear can the bear be domesticated? Yes. Would I have a bear as a pet? Probably not. Like
I'm saying
No,
you,
but
you coward. You're
Ghost,
saying the bear could
Ghost,
possibly be domesticated.
Ghost,
if it has the
Ghost.
snout reduction, if
Ghost.
it's
Oh my
literally
God, okay, we're
biologically
done.
changing,
Ghost.
maybe
we
it's
went over
I don't
this.
care
We
what
went over
study
this.
is out
It
there.
would be literally just
I don't care
Ghost.
what study is.
Ghost. If
biological
biologists
markers.
determine that the snout has to be smaller, the claws have to be smaller, if they say 5 things, whatever, classify this as domestication. This is the term that we're applying to this collection of traits. How are you saying it's by
Bro,
definition?
I'm telling you, if a scientist tells me that it's showing those 5 traits of domestication for a bear, I'm not believing them. I don't care if they're called.
They didn't say.
By the way,
Look at it. What if
by
it's
the way,
something
going
like
back to what
the
you were saying
bear,
earlier,
the bear
it
loses
was-
its arms,
that's-
and you see the bear lost its arms,
when
like they just
somebody's
don't have
combating
arms
you with
anymore.
that, like,
You're
I
gonna
just
be
don't
like, "Oh,
believe
it's not
it."
domesticated."
You're right.
What
You're
are
like,
you
no, you
talking
don't.
about?
Wait,
Ghost,
Ace, I
I
don't
think
understand.
you
what are the
don't get it.
arms, missing arms have to do with
Ghost.
it? It's not
That's
necessarily
what I'm
about the
saying. I'm
danger
using
that
an
it
extreme
poses.
example of biological changes, but they're saying these biological changes indicate that the thing is domesticated. If it was something extreme as if a bear loses its arms, then we can it just stops having arms. The bears keep you keep having bear babies with no arms. Okay, that's domesticated, and you're gonna be like,
You're probably a smaller.
no,
No.
it's not domesticated, even though you can see it has no arms. Like that's what you're arguing against,
I mean-
biological facts that define the term domestication.
Yes, I'm 100% arguing against that because you can't definitively. For one, I know
At least he admits
you
it.
were
Ghost.
dramatic with the
Ghost.
arms thing, but
Hold on.
an animal
He's
is
not
an
being
animal,
dramatic.
bro. We have animals in the
he's expressing
Bible.
it in a way that is just clear cut. In this
Ghost.
this changes happens.
Ghost.
Y'all
It's-
acting like. Sorry,
No,
you were saying-
Ghost, listen. We're saying that by definition, a triangle has 3 sides. If you see a triangle and you say, it has 4 sides, or I don't believe that it always has 3 sides. We just defined the triangle. We can't we can't talk about more numbers of sides or less numbers of sides. It's a term that's defined within biology. Whether
I have a counterpoint for your
We gotta
argument.
move on, is what we-
all right, I'll make this quick. I have a counterpoint. I see a sphere, and the scientist says, no, this is actually a circle because it distributes the couches of a circle. But it's really a sphere. It's just we don't have all the information to showcase what it actually is. And tying back to this point, there can be signs saying these signs of domestication, blah, blah, blah. It could just literally be a different subspecies of the same animal that's not domesticated at all.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing because your point's not somewhat based in some type of logic. I'm laughing because there is.
Reasonably, whatever. I'm not logical. I don't care. I'm not changing my stance, even if you claim I'm wrong, which I might be, but I don't care. Not domesticated raccoon. That's my moral of the story, and I know y'all moral of the story is that I'm bugging. So
no, it's simply a thing where it's a question of how do we define this word? Does this word make sense? And what is the popular definition? What is your definition? What is your interpretation of the word? There's 2 different things going on.
or are people just applying this word or this phrase to something that it doesn't really apply to?
But that's not.
Are people doing it? All the same. Maybe we'll bump into maybe we'll come back in. I don't know how long domestication takes with probably a whole generation. Maybe we'll come back in 20 years and it'll be fully. We'll see full progress with this. As of right now,
And maybe I'm wrong about the definition of domestication. or the fact that it is so it is distinctly defined within the field of biology because I'm not a biologist. But that's how I understand it.
As of right now, unless there's anything else, we can move on to the next topic.
Oh shit, that's me. I forgot that I'm looking at this freaking domestication study because I wanna get some basis because I have a feeling that that study is all right.
All right. So there's a couple
What's this
links.
headline?
There's a couple links regarding this story. The first thing I saw about this was the Instagram post. And then I started to do some research so that I get the real story. I don't know. It's kind of wonky. Maybe that YouTube video probably gets us to where we need to be with all the info. But to kind of start us off, so I don't know if y'all heard about this. Historical performer wins settlement after the library canceled show over race. So to give you the TLDR, there was a performer, quote unquote historical performer, that wanted to do a show about historical figures, and as you can imagine, we just came out of Black History Month, so it would largely be around historical figures. So they presented that to the library in question. The library said, "Oh, that's a great idea." When it came time to start talking about the casting, they said, "Okay, who's going to play Harriet Tubman?" She said, "Oh, that would be me." The library said, "Ma'am, you are a pale skinned white woman." And there was a bit of back and forth. It turned to a legal matter, and ultimately they won. They came to a settlement agreement to where
They being the performer.
yes, the performer received the settlement because the library effectively discriminated and canceled their show over the fact that they wanted to perform as Black historical female figures. Now some of that may be a little skewed into our timeline. We can read the article, but maybe the video goes to video. Maybe the video just breaks it down. That's why I didn't want to.
Annette Hubble wrote a one-woman show. She portrays historical figures, white like herself and Black.
It never occurred to me that that might even be an issue.
She says Rancho Santa Fe Library asked her to perform her show for Women's History Month. She gave them a list of
Women's History Month,
characters to
sorry.
pick from. They chose Harriet Beecher Stowe, a white abolitionist, Mary McLeod Bethune, Black civil rights leader, and Harriet Tubman, who escaped slavery and rescued others. A couple weeks before the show, they asked Hubble to swap out Bethune and Tubman for white characters.
And I said, why? And they said, she said, because it's not appropriate for you to be doing this. You're a white woman. And I said, oh, no. You don't understand. I'm honoring these women. And she said, it doesn't matter. And I said, you mean I'm only to perform women whose stories of bravery and courage that should be told if they're white? And she said, that's pretty much it. So I'm not getting it. So I said, well, tell me how this is different from the Hamilton play.
In Hamilton, non-white actors portray white.
Great place to
Crazy
pause it at.
freeze frame.
Anyway, so as a premise, again, my apologies for some of the nuances that I said that may not be aligned with the facts of the matter, but this is why we pulled the video and look at some of the facts of the matter. So, like I said, you have this Caucasian woman. They are a historical performer, and actually, I guess one important detail, the library actually reached out to them, and then later down the line they changed some of the casting details. But I think we can kind of understand the premise. Obviously, we'll watch more of the video to get more context. But by and large, starting off, what are we thinking? This kind of sucks. I don't know if we're gonna have to play white devil's advocate or black devil's advocate. Is there even such a thing? But what do y'all think? I mean, this kind of get into a lengthy conversation as well, because it kind of dives into like representation, like that whole internet back and forth about whenever you see, God forbid, you see like a black Batman or a black Little Mermaid, as far as some actual examples. Yeah, do we think? I guess we'll we'll try to focus on this, maybe kind of broaden out. What do you think? Do you think Homegirl was completely justified as far as playing who did she want to play? Or besides Harriet Tubman, she was another black activist. Seemed like, or do you or do we think
She's white.
or do you think you leave the black historical figures to the black and brown folks? Can a white homeboy play Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, what's the brother's name? Not W.B. Du Bois. I'm lacking. I'm sorry.
I think I know who you're thinking about too.
It's a laggy Monday. I'm usually on point.
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Yeah. So on and so forth. We'll start with. I'm actually curious to know what you think about it, Wes. What do you think?
I am pretty much 100% on her side. The funny thing is, the thing about it that makes it weird is the fact that most of these characters, the important thing was their race.
Right.
Like in the stories revolved around their race. Whereas somebody like Andrew Hamilton or whoever else, it wasn't necessarily their race wasn't necessarily an integral part of the story. And the way they were treated and the dynamics and the story and everything like that. So it would make it more complicated for a character to play somebody who is heavily impacted by their race as somebody who is not that race. That's why when we watch it or when we see it or when we hear these things, it is odd. However, I think in the interest of the art, and it is an art of acting, and this applies to me across different art forms, especially if you're portraying something historical. White people have the right to play these things or do these things as well. That doesn't mean it will be well received, but it also doesn't mean it should be banned just by virtue of it being bad, poorly done, or because the person is white necessarily. There can be other reasons why that white person can miss the mark, and or it could be related to them being white, but I don't think it should be just the fact that they're white that makes it an issue necessarily. If it's not good, don't watch it, don't support it. But otherwise, if that person wants to play that character, I think it's okay.
Now, funny. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, like, does it make it weird in certain situations if that character uses certain language or a certain accent, et cetera, et cetera? Those can be reproaches, but I still think it shouldn't be out and out. You can't do it at all.
Yeah,
there's no
like
way
you said, that all speaks towards like the quality that they can provide in their performance. Because we've all heard like a Caucasian person that if you just listen to them on the phone, you might mistake them for,
Also, you might need to include some notes or something to let the audience know that, hey, this is the actual character, because I feel like people won't necessarily
not to jump
get
the
it.
gun, but one thing I was gonna say in response to you, like, you're 100% right in like the race, ethnicity, nationality, just aesthetics of a person largely play a role in some of these historical figures. And they address this in their lack of desire to do it. But then what if the person had put on some blackface and they actually fit the role? Would that make it more acceptable in your eyes?
I think that would be a bad idea.
But would it
because
be
of the history of
your eyes?
Because of the history of blackface, that would be a bad idea. And because of the history of blackface, I probably wouldn't love it myself. Is it acceptable on a philosophical ground?
Would it make them fit the role more?
It would make it easier to identify them, but it might not be the best choice, and people would not necessarily like it. So they have to consider that.
One excellent example of blackface being used well.
You're not talking about Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
I never saw the but I do know that nobody was really up in arms about it.
I think the primary
Jr. is a great example of, and I think I don't think people actually even care that much since that movie was so much of a comedy. It's a great example of like, you know how like they say like rappers can get canceled, but if they come back with like a banger, like they can be forgiven. Like if you're an actor and you do some questionable stuff, you come back and you're Iron Man. And it's a good Iron Man. Hey man, Tropical Thunder. I don't even know what year did that even come out.
Somebody said, who would play who would play Iron Man if he was black? And somebody said Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, sorry, Ghost. Were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say with the whole blackface thing, I don't think people had a problem with Robert Downey Jr. doing it, or they didn't have a problem then. But the whole point is, if you're actively trying to portray yourself not as a black person, but physically as a black person, or almost not mocking, but like mimicking their features, also plus the history, I think that's the real problem. And that there's a distinction between her portraying this character historically as herself and then putting on blackface. I don't know. There's a distinction there.
Well, I'll pass it off to you. What do you think about this story so far? But I think somebody could say like there's a thin line between like mimicry and honoring.
How do we feel about masks in general? I don't know.
A black mask?
I freaking hate masks.
That sounds scary.
I mean, realistic, unrealistic, any form of mask.
Oh, they got those realistic masks these days that people are probably definitely gonna start using.
Yeah.
Those things are
Actually, I saw this.
I don't know.
I saw this
just like a masquerade like style, maybe not too detailed. I don't know. I'm just posing the question.
I saw this UFC fight. Like I went to a fight, and
Really?
the dude came out with a mask. Like I think it was like a Japanese like Oni mask or something like that, and I thought it was badass. I think they can be cool, but probably the more human they get, the more like uncanny.
Yeah, the weirder.
Yeah.
But actors used to wear masks.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure. Well, a lot of theater involved in masks and costume.
Sorry. Yeah. What do you think of this thing so far, Ghost?
The mask. The masks are just in general.
This story. You support Homegirl, or do you think they should have been cool with laying off the black historical female figures?
I support her. I kind of get the library's hangups, but I do support her. I do question how the portrayal would have been done. Like I think Wes mentioned, like she's trying to put on an accent or something. That's what I think it would be a little. I don't. It's hard to put into words why exactly it would be an issue versus her just being herself and like talking in her normal cadence, but with the intent of representing the black historical figure versus her like trying to put on an accent or blackface. I don't know. I'm trying to like come up with a reason why, but it would be different. Even if she was trying to be respectful with it. But in this case, for now, I don't have a problem with what she was doing, and I'm mostly on her side.
You know, I have somewhat of a response to that, but I guess before that, what about you, Ace? What do you think of this story so far? Are you on Homegirl's side? Do you think you got to leave the black historical figures to black and brown people?
I am more on her side than not. I completely get why the library basically couldn't be, and I'm also fine with their decision to try to prevent her from doing it because essentially they knew they were going to get canceled. So, like in the social media sense. But yeah, like theoretically, there shouldn't be there, or theoretically, I think it's possible for a white person to portray black, like black historical figures, even if the context is specifically like centered around race, like a figure like Harriet Tubman would be. There's just a lot more inherent risk of backlash
Because if she gets it wrong, or if it comes off as a caricature, if she gets like any historical facts wrong or anything like that, then there's a like historical context to questions of, well, was it intentional? Like, is she intentionally playing this, as a caricature? Is she not taking it serious? Whereas if a black person does those same things and like kind of gets it wrong, or even if it comes off as caricature, you can still kind of write it off as they're trying to, interpret this in a new way or whatever. Whereas a white person, you could almost like, I feel like there's more of a chance of people thinking that there could be bad intentions. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was excellent points you bring up. And you know what sucks? Even this conversation is meta, because as we're talking, I'm just thinking, like, to what you're saying, like, we're talking and looking at this in post, like, as it pertains to this timeline. But I wonder, in the timeline where, like, the library went through with it, and society in general got a hold of the story and was watching this play with this woman playing Harriet Tubman, and they're probably going to get canceled, how do we be, because, we try to come out here and be, like, ultra objective, and also get all sides. Would we be on the side of, like, yeah, they were dumb for doing that? I don't know.
It really would
I
depend
think
on
it's-
her portrayal, but I get what
Exactly.
you're saying, because I know, like, this is not the equivalent of the N-word argument necessarily, but it's always been, you can say it, but be prepared for the consequences. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a similar thing
Mhm.
in this
Yeah.
case. But again, it really would depend on the portrayal, and if it's like respectful or if she's over the top in an unsavory way. I feel like if the story came out and let's say it was portrayed in an unsavory way, I would kind of lean on the side of, even if she meant well, like, you kind of should have expected this. You should know what's coming. I feel like, just hearing her talk without watching the full video, it almost seems like she's kind of like uh unaware or ignorant of any potential drawbacks, which as a historical performer, I would think that wouldn't be the case. But it seems like she's almost like incredulous that people thought like it would even be an issue in the first place. So
Yeah.
From
It's possible, and I think that there's a generational thing to it too. I think that she's not necessarily anticipating the reaction of young people.
I think it's
I think
more
that-
so. I think it's more so an environment thing. Like, we'll watch.
Yeah, maybe that.
I don't know. Like, maybe y'all will get the sense of what I'm getting, but this person seems generally like you were saying, goes like they just don't necessarily see the problem with it all. Like, I think they've almost even potentially done this before. They've performed.
I think-
Black historical.
she's
figures.
100% done this before.
I think the thing is though, I think she cares about the art of performing,
I get that.
and I think that's what she's focused on. But I think that in the context of what it is, she has to make artistic decisions that a person who is black would not need to make in order to make it a successful thing. And it could be tastefully done, but it has to be evaluated based on what it is, the context, and the fact that she is white playing a black person. She has to know how to navigate that, and she may or may not, but it brings in elements that wouldn't necessarily be there if she wasn't white.
Yeah, I already got more questions, but we'll play a little bit more of it, get more context, see if y'all still on board with y'all currently.
How this is different from the Hamilton play.
In Hamilton, non-white actors portray white historical figures. The debate escalated to the library's diversity and inclusion team. They affirmed the decision, but Hubble refused to swap out the characters, so the library canceled her performance. The library said it won't comment on pending legal matters. Hubble doesn't use makeup for her characters.
I think if people thought I was doing blackface or a parody of these people, not respecting them, then that might be a cause for an objection. But all they have to do is read my stories and they would see how deeply I respect and honor and admire these people.
The San Diego Union Tribune published an opinion piece by a former San Diego city attorney supporting her, and a lawyer from the Pacific Legal Foundation read it.
And they called me and said, "This is horrific." I think that was the very word that Chris used. we need to do something about this.
Hubble says he convinced her to sue.
If
Pause it.
these women that I
I don't want to load anything onto this. I don't know if you guys are still on board. What I would glean for this, and we don't even like to hyper focus on what this doctor story is sometimes, but what I gleaned from when I watched this previously is I do get a sense of sincerity from this woman, but I don't know about the legal firm.
Oh yeah, no. The legal firm, they're bugging. They got
I'm
a
100%
thick-
because her explanations like
Probably-
made sense, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
like
yeah.
it was the respect thing is like why the accent would be a problem. But yeah, the horrific thing, it's like, bro, come
They have an
on, like,
agenda.
we know what they're doing.
All right, so
Like,
sometimes I just gotta throw questions out to see if I'm tweaking, but it's
no,
like-
you're certainly not tweaking.
when between they reached out to them calling it horrific, I already get the sense that this legal
We already know
this legal firm
which
her
way they
happening.
speak.
Especially
already
with the climate that we're in these days.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep playing.
portray fought against such
Probably gonna have to speak
injustice
just a little bit.
and such egregious wrongdoings in their lives. Who am I to stop at fighting this?
Pacific Legal Foundation says it fights for individual liberties. It's filed suits against implicit bias training, race quotas for licensing boards, and programs meant to close racial opportunity gaps. I asked Hubble's lawyer, Chris Barnewall.
Yes, I know what all
Government
these
simply
about
doesn't have the right to exclude anyone by race.
Is there hope with any of these cases that it might set legal precedent?
For sure. We do this because we're interested in the impact.
So-called reverse discrimination suits stretch back to at least the 1970s.
Reverse discrimination.
Recently,
Reverse this. We know
like the Supreme Court ruling against considering race in college admissions. And in San Diego, after a white plaintiff sued, the city removed the race requirement from a program meant to help people of color buy their first home. Dan Eaton is a legal analyst. He says these lawsuits rely on laws
I'm glad to
enacted
finally
after
see a
slavery
black
and the
person.
civil rights movement.
The impetus
At least.
of these laws was to address the legal discrimination against particularly formerly enslaved individuals who were African Americans.
But the reasons a law was written don't really matter in a court of law, only what the words say.
And what we are seeing as the law has evolved is the application of these laws or constitutional amendments, as the case may be, to claims by members of the majority.
Interesting to see that all be turned on its head.
Angie Chandler has advised arts institutions across the country, including in San Diego. She's also played Harriet Tubman.
Even as a Black woman, it was one of the most difficult roles I've ever had to play.
And she'd love to play Mary McLeod Bethune, whose body, she says, was central to her experience.
A woman over 200 pounds, dark-skinned Black woman living in the 1800s.
So I think we're all now on board about the race of a character or a historical figure definitely could have some impact. Do we put the weight in that category too? The fat person have to play a historically fat
Unless it's
person?
like a very specific person that's known for having physical traits.
I don't think she's saying that though. I think she's just saying that the character is, the historical person is important to her because she also was, over 200 pounds. Like she
she
said.
relates.
She just relates to
Oh,
it. Yeah.
Okay.
That is an interesting question, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't think I've ever heard people be getting pissed about someone. Oh, you know what? Nope, I take it back.
Yeah, I think that
I take it back.
Keep playing.
The 1900s in this country. There is not a way that I can even invite you into what it's like to walk around this country in a similar body in 2025.
She says Hubble's performance is not the same as the colorblind casting in Hamilton.
It's not a two-way street because colorblindness is a response. Colorblindness is a response to historic exclusion, to the erasure of our stories.
And she says it ignores the harmful history of white people portraying people of color.
The foundation of the American arts movement means that it will never be as simple, innocent, and neutral for a white person to attempt to tell or perform the story of a Black person.
This is her.
Under the
I'm gonna just stop this real quick because I have.
So it seems like that sister is on the side of like, there's a lot of rationale to why a Caucasian person shouldn't play a Black and brown person.
I'm lost. How is this not the same as Hamilton? because I mean, I most certainly do not have any love for Hamilton, but how is it
What's
not the
made a
same
good point?
thing? Whereas
because because
Sorry, go
their
ahead.
yeah their race actually their race did not necessarily play into their story. Black people in this time period
Okay, in
in
Hamilton, you're
Hamilton,
saying.
them being
Okay,
white
I
did not
wasn't aware
necessarily
of that. I didn't
change
know.
how they were treated by people around them or whatever. It wasn't a central element in the story, but race is going to be a central element in stories where you're talking about slavery or whatever, because it
All right,
impacts
I
the character
just
so much.
okay. I didn't know that much about Hamilton, but I thought that there were like historically black figures in the Hamilton play, and I know it's like it's not
No, I
100%
mean,
one-to-one to history.
no. Hamilton was played by a black by Lin-Manuel, I think,
Yeah,
right?
Lin-Manuel Miranda. Yeah.
And so no, they were white characters that were played by black people, but that doesn't impact the story as much because those characters, those people were not necessarily impacted by being white in the same way that people are impacted by being black.
In the historical context of the real people, like, so I'm just kind of confused because it seems like if there were real black people in Hamilton and they're being portrayed, you're saying that it just had absolutely no bearing at all on the story?
Hamilton being white didn't make his character, it didn't impact his character as much as Harriet Tubman being black. It's like a white person, if a white historical person in the past 10 years, if a black person plays them, or vice versa, technically, we should be more open to these things because it's not, not to say that racism doesn't exist anymore, but it's not a factor in that person's story so much. Harriet Tubman was a representative of someone who was in slavery and helped free slaves. And so
I think I get your point. I was just mostly confused because I guess
their
there's
life
just
is
no
fairly
absolutely no
neutral.
racism Hamilton play, but I
don't know
whatever.
about I don't know about Hamilton. I didn't watch it. I don't know exactly what
Yeah,
the story
that's
is,
what
but I
I'm.
know that American presidents and American figures like this, their whiteness did not. I mean, it helped them, but it wasn't part of their story in the way that the blackness of a Harriet Tubman or whoever else impacts the story.
Do we, having seen most of this, do we think in the world in which this person does this performance, and that it's very sincere, it's very respectful, it's very true to the historical representation of Harriet Tubman, do you think society would there'll still be backlash and cancellation? Just point blank period.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like, I mean, and we're
basically, there's no right way this woman can do that part.
For some people,
not to satisfy everybody.
For some, yeah,
I'm
exactly.
talking about the consensus. Well, the majority of people.
Consensus, I think.
Majority of black people?
Well,
Yeah.
Yes, black people, black brown people.
I think
Black Twitter would be like, nah.
today, yeah, I mean, yeah, are we leaning more? I don't know.
Yeah, there's no way. Actually, there's no way.
I feel like people would be leaning more against. Although, to be clear, my stance is, if it is done well, if it is enjoyable, or you can learn something from it, and it's well done art, there's an appreciation I can have for it. Does it mean it's gonna be my favorite version of this type of thing? No.
Well, yeah,
but
before we even
if
get
it's
to
done well, it's done well. There's gonna be black people who are just like, nah, this don't make no sense. It's not good.
No matter what.
It doesn't make sense to me, so it's no good, which isn't a critique that's fair. There's gonna be other black people who are like, I don't like it because she's white, and that's it. I'm not thinking about how it was done, how well done it was. No,
I'm just trying to figure out if we're on the wrong or right side of history with this, because I think we all agree, like, unless anyone changed their mind, we really wouldn't care if this person played that role. We're not necessarily, it's not going to be our favorite rendition of it. It's not going to even be, we're not going to have a hyper interest in it. We're not going to think it's the best. We might not.
Although I say it might not be the best. I don't know. I could be shocked, but
I'll go.
It is what it is.
I'll go ahead and say, like, when we started the video, and we just first time seeing her in the getup, I have an immediate like kind of a negative reaction to seeing it, and that's just like it's supernatural. It's super like I kind of have to stop and think about it and be like, okay, yes, and then go through all the reasons why it should be. It has the potential to be okay, but I do have just a natural like negative reaction. I think it's because of the historical context. So if like I don't expect that the majority of black people, especially, that would be vocal about it, would even necessarily want to go past that initial negative reaction. And I don't necessarily blame them for that either. I grew up in a way where I didn't necessarily have to deal with a lot of the, negative, racial issues that a lot of, if not the majority of black people have. So there's also that like contributing to the reason why I may be able to step back and be willing to at least give it a chance, whereas maybe the majority is not.
And I think a point too is that like if I were to say, if I was of the camp where no she's white, I'm not even going any farther than that. I probably wouldn't, in general, I probably wouldn't go to watch this first. But even if I wasn't of the camp where I'm not saying that, if this thing got popular, I can see also the backlash of why are we pushing this when a story told by a black person could have been more could have or should have been more emphasized in the place of it because of the more authentic connection to the story and everything like that. And I can see that argument making sense because if this thing is blown up and it's like, well, it's the story of a black woman during slavery, like why would this be the most trending thing like that? I can see that annoying people as well.
I think one of my last things on this, because we could spend a whole podcast on this type of topic. Do you think this contends with, and I don't know if we've ever been extensively talking about this, do you think this contends with like the idea of like things should be strictly, because now I'm kind of leaning into sort of like the assumption this person could put on a phenomenal play or she could phenomenally perform these roles. Do you think this kind of contends with like the idea of things being merit based? And I think we generally agree that they should. But I guess this is art, so is that even applicable? But I mean, there is.
I feel like
qualities to merit based being art.
I feel like I would easily read her work, but watching it,
that's just your bias as a book reader.
No, but I mean yes, but at the same time, like
I do agree with that.
I don't know. There's something you can see how she treats it. Like she said, if somebody read her wearing an eye, you would see how she treats the subject. And if she treats the subject with respect, I think I could respect the piece of work. I could respect the art. But this does add a dynamic where it's just a level of complication above that.
I have generally been thinking about this though, like people of one sect of society, there's a better way to put that, but like playing another, especially like underprivileged or disadvantaged sets of people, like people that have physical impairments, mental impairments and disabilities and things like that. And it's tough because from a kind of just theoretical standpoint, I feel like that's what acting is supposed to be. Like you're supposed to be able to portray, like the point is to portray other characters and get into. What'd you say?
Don't say that.
I don't know if I repeat that.
Yeah, don't repeat
it. I mean, we're recording, so sorry, too late. But
they're by nature portraying someone who's not themselves. It's not them.
Yes, and theoretically, I do feel like they should be able to go to the extreme with that because it's like
it's the extreme of their craft. It's the I mean it's kind of like the height of their ability to be able to portray something that's completely um uh outside of their own realm of experience, and to be able to get into that role, get into that character, and
You know what's
still
interesting?
portray it honestly and compellingly. So
What you're saying is 100% right, and I can't think of like the best example of this. And I know there are some examples that often fall short. You say that, and that's 100% true, but I think there are some examples of like we have a high level of appreciation where somebody from that lineage plays that role, and kind of gives it like a full circle,
Because
more
it's
in
the
depth,
social aspect.
in depth.
It's the-
Like if Martin Luther King Jr.'s like great grandson, I don't think he's that old, great grandson, played him, and like he's heard stories from his uncles of what he was really like, and really was able to play that role. Maybe he's not necessarily the best person to play Martin Luther King, but he just he just, one, we appreciate the fact that they kept it in family, and two, he has some level of in depth experience or knowledge. I think we would also really appreciate that over him being the best performer.
Yeah, and
You
if
know
he
what,
had
that
the
is the
same
first
voice and he
example I
looked
thought
like
of.
him, that would make people really connect with his actual character. What were you saying, Ghost?
I was gonna say the first thing I thought of was Ice Cube's son playing him in.
You know what's crazy? The first thing that came to my mind was the NWA stuff too, but I don't think people really see. I know it was like a good solid rendition, but I don't know if people super liked some of
But
that stuff.
this is the fundamental question that has to be posed to every artist, or when casting or creating characters or whatever, is how important is the social impact of the story you're trying to tell? Because if it's just the artistic integrity, yeah, the best actor might be a person not of the group that is trying to be played or whatever, or not of the sex. It might be whoever. The very best actor who could really, really play the role might not be the
A guy
person
could play a
that
better
you
girl
want
than
to
that girl.
choose. But I didn't say that. But but you need to consider the social context and what it's going to do to the audience, and if the audience will accept it, and if it makes sense. I think you have to gauge that, and that's what I guess casting directors do, or whatever, people who have that job, they have to weigh that and make that decision. But I think we're never just, or never, especially when it's a real situation or historical characters and stuff like that, you're never really just in the case of an artistic choice.
Yeah.
You have to consider everything around that.
Yeah, I think that makes
I
sense.
would-
I think. Oh, go ahead, Ace.
I was just gonna say, like, also there doesn't have to be one portrayal of the person and that's it. Like, people are going to continue to try to portray these historical figures, and yes, the portrayal of a relative of the person is going to have its own merits in the terms of in the eyes of people, in the eyes of the audience, versus somebody who can just, who is not related or of a different race or whatever, and they just portray it extremely well because they just have the innate acting ability to play that person extremely well. Like, these things can exist side by side, and you may say you like one more than the other, but that doesn't necessarily mean one is how it always should be and one is, we shouldn't ever be the case. Like, these things can exist in parallel.
Yeah, but like I said, I can also understand the backlash if one version gets super popular and
Yeah.
it's not a version with an authentic character. And people say, as far as representation in Hollywood, and why would you choose somebody when there's X number of other black or whatever the character is, artists that can do the same job or do it better. There's always going to be that. And in a way, it's understandable. It's like, why would this version have gotten to the level it's gotten to? And who's doing that to the story? And is it a bad representation? Or is it, is it unfitting for that version to be the reference of everyone? I don't know.
Yeah, I can definitely get on board with that. I think that's the more of the story. A lot of stuff that you're breaking down, Wes. The only other part I was just gonna end it on is, while we are never dismissive of any type of discrimination on here, some of y'all gotta show the reverse racism. Y'all gotta chill. Like, we get it, but come on. But if there's nothing else for right now, we can move on to the next, I think, last topic. Yeah, that was the first thing. How much? She got 60,000? Is that what that said? Yeesh.
Damn, what? For what?
They
60,000.
They discriminated. What do you mean?
For what is it? Emotional.
Yeah, I'll let.
I would say
no,
emotional
let me
damage. No, that's not what it's.
I'll take emotional damage for $60,000, bro. I'll have some racist white person just throw a hard and around. I'm joking. I'm joking. 60,000 is crazy.
Anyway, last but not least, we all gotta bring some hip hop into it. Salute to Camron, salute to J. Cole. I would say they just put out their, not just at the time of recording, their what is the person's last album? Crescendo. Anyway, and that's been a lot of discussion regarding J. Cole. Some of the what he's going about the rollout as far as really connecting with people, selling physical disc outside of the hoopty. So there's been a lot of positive praise about J. Cole recently, and that's why this story seemed like it kind of came out of nowhere. Even though I think we really need to talk about it, but this is like him, Camron actually fully deep diving into why he's pursuing actually legal action against J. Cole, which, you know, with a lot of people think of J. Cole, they think of him like the kind of nice natured rapper. Like, why would he be ever getting sued, especially by another rapper? So let's listen real quick to see what Camron said. And just relatively quick, I just want to know what y'all think of this, you know, as it pertains to, like, you know, owing somebody, quote unquote.
Or cool, or was cool. This is exactly what happens. Being a man is keeping your word. And I know everybody's busy and everybody has things to do. But if I give you my word 4 or 5 times, I got to do it. So on his first project he did, I did an intro for him. I did the record for him for his intro. I told him I may need a verse whenever I get a project done. He said, cool. He had another project. I did a record in 20 minutes. I knocked that shit out and went off about my business. I need a verse. I'm exaggerating, but he's like the shock rain right now, and you know the moon got aligned with the stars, and you know, when I write, I put my all into it. Okay, let's put your all into it then. You know what I'm saying? Give me that verse. Called me twice to do something, and I did it. One day you have 48 hours to do it. Then I knocked the other thing out as soon as I came to New York, because you ain't want to send me a record, you want to be in the studio with me. I knocked it out. Cool, you don't give me the record. Then I say, you know what, forget the record. Let's do an interview. Bet I got you. I got a project coming out in June. Let's do it around there. Cool, June is coming. Oh, we pushed the album back. I don't want to just do an interview. All right, cool. Now we're going to do it in October. All right, I'll call you back in October. Yo, what's up? Oh man, Keller, you say I tell you October, you call October, huh, nigga? Yeah, nigga. Yeah. So now this is when all the beef is going on with Kendrick Lamar. I can't do it now because I don't feel like talking about that right now. I said, look, I'll do the interview. I won't even bring that up. He says, nah, I can't do no interview and not talk about it. All right, well, when can I get the interview? Yo, February, definite. February, I'm dead ass on February. February come.
Around the time.
Yo, what's up? Oh, shit. Yo, I'm still working, man.
Fuck this game. Fuck you. All right, they throw their own little clip in there, but.
So I guess salute to Camron. If nothing else, he's gonna be funny, being honest. Like it's crazy. Like we don't actually know too much. I mean, obviously there's a good amount of interviews from J. Cole back in the day, but outside of like the music, we don't really know about too much about J. Cole. But the way Camron just spoke, everything he said is believable. Like he definitely called J. Cole multiple times. J. Cole threw him the yeah, let's do it around this time. It'll make more sense. And then when Camron called him back, he's like, dang, you really followed up on me, didn't you?
Bro, that's happened to me before. That is the most bullshit thing. Someone says that shit to me, I don't want to talk to them ever. I don't want to make any plans with them ever again. That is like that's triggering.
And it sucks because like I don't want to fully start, and we're just talking hip hop. We're not. It's nothing too serious. I don't like to have negative views of my favorite artists. I don't really like to even have views on my artists because I don't really care. But it kind of sucks in the sense that like J. Cole really did probably say like I don't want to talk about that beef, which is kind of understandable, even though I don't understand the concept of not being able to just stand on what you do or what you say. And then Camron was like, "Okay, we don't talk about it." But then he's like, "Nah, if we don't talk about it, it'll be weird." I'm like, okay, so what do you want? It's just like that. And like what you said, Ghost. I could imagine, obviously not that situation. I could imagine having that kind of conversation with somebody that said that they would do something for me, and they kind of give those excuse to the excuse, and I'm just, how am I supposed to interact with that? How am I supposed to?
It feels like, you know what it feels like? It feels like a group project.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's actually spot on. Like they're gonna give you a reason for why they can't do it at this time and for this reason. You try to give them, okay, so let's do it there, and we will do it like this. I'll meet you at your spot. I don't know. It sucks. And now I'm creating this like frustrated perception of like in my mind about Cole. But that aside, yeah, what do y'all make of this interaction? And I guess outside of like, I mean, I do want to know what y'all think about this, but outside of like that specific interaction, do you think when somebody says they're gonna do something for you, repay you back for your favor or whatever you did, you think you just have to end up really just being patient and just like going through the motions, or do you think like it does make some justification for Camron to put that additional pressure and pursue like legal act? Not Camron. Do you think it makes more sense to put some pressure on somebody when they say they're actually gonna do something? What do y'all think? I'll start with you, Ghost. What do you think?
I definitely get Camron's stance and his frustration. As far as the legal action thing, I mean, I'm not. That's not going to be my first recourse. At the same time, though,
Cam's either.
If it's yeah, that to be very fair to him. Like I'm not putting any blame on him for taking this route. Personally, I don't know if I would. It might just be more of like, all right, yeah. So you flaking, and I don't want to interact with you anymore. But I don't know how far I take it as far as legal
Even if
action.
you've done a service for somebody.
Yeah, it depends. For one, like if it's like a stranger or like an acquaintance, and it's significant enough for it to make a difference, I maybe would. It's hard to say without being in it specifically, without having like a one-to-one example, but I have no issues with Camron taking this legal action because he needs to do something to galvanize Cole, because it seems like no matter what he's doing, it's just getting excuse after excuse. So you need to provide some type of like you got the carrot before, now here's the stick. But yeah, it's like beyond like putting out something like, I mean, this kind of went viral on social media anyways, but besides putting out something on social media just to put pressure on them, there's really not a good way of applying pressure if someone's just not getting back to you, which is why suing is so effective, even if it's not looked on favorably by a lot of people.
Yeah. How about you, Ace? What do you think of this scenario and just the idea, the sentiment of like, you do something for somebody, and when it's their time to pay you, they're giving you the 1,000,001 okie dokes, especially if you are kind of genuine about it. I guess to give an example, to what Ghost kind of asking, say you help somebody with some home renovations. When it's time for your home renovations, and they specifically said, if you need me, I'm gonna be there. But when it's actually time, they keep giving you this day don't work. Okay, but then you have another home renovation to be done. I can't really make that one either. How do you go about that?
I mean, I don't necessarily see myself ever pursuing legal action. It just seems very I mean, at the very least, very costly, and no guarantees that you actually get what you want. But I mean, I'm not. My perception of that person is going down the toilet with each with each dodge. Like, and it. I mean, it could certainly get to the point where like we're not cool anymore. Like whatever
Turn that off, by the way.
friendly relationship we had, that's going out the door. Like, I'll give you a couple, but or maybe one or two, but.
And that sucks. I think a lot of people would actually agree with y'all. Like, I don't think people are gonna go down the legal route. I think a lot of people would just like at a certain point cut them off. And I guess if you sue somebody, that's also like a form of cutting them off, because probably a relationship that's not going to be really amicable moving forward. So what do you do to say? So if you want to stay positive with that person, what do you do?
It's not on you; it's on the person to make it right.
If you can accept, I think it's irreparable in terms of you being able to, I don't know, believe that person has your back anymore. Like, at the very least, that's done. Like, you're not gonna just be like, well, if I help him again, maybe they'll come back and actually help me next. No, you're just never gonna believe that anymore. So I think it's on them. And if they don't prove that they can actually back up what they say, then you're never going to believe that. You could still be cool with them, but I mean, that part is
them anymore. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn it, man. And what about you, Wes? What do you think? Now, I was curious to know your take on this, because I think what some people could make the case is, like, specifically if we're talking about music or art, like, there could be some genuine, like, even though like somebody else wants to create with you, you might not be in the space to really give them what you think give them what they're asking for. So do you kind of look at it a bit differently, in the sense of like, maybe if someone was like literally coming to you and say, "Hey, let's make music," but you just not in that space right now, but they helped you out before, I don't know. Would you feel that makes sense?
I think in the case where, because this is their job as well.
True.
So I think it complicates things. And so in the case where, let's say I did something for them and they're not doing something for me back, or vice versa, whatever, I think the obligation becomes more than just the art. And I think, like Camron said, he said he busted it out in 20 minutes. Like, it might not have been the art that was motivating him. It might have been the fact that this was a business exchange, and he was like, all right, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna give it my best. But the thing that was pushing him to do it and get it done is his business mindset more than his artistic mindset, which when you link those two, you're obligated to be consistent and to be professional. From the artistic standpoint, I think if you're a good person, you should try to honor it. If it takes more time than you expect, okay, but you should at least present them with something, even if you say, "Hey, this is, I don't know, but let me know what you think. Maybe you can give me some, maybe we can go back and forth and try to figure out something that's a little bit better, but it's not coming to me right now, but this is what I can give you right now." I think you have to at least be able to do that much. Like, I don't think you can just be like, nah, and do that for years and years and expect to and have any integrity. Like, that's not having integrity. If you just say, if you do have some, I don't know, some artistic block and you're just like, I don't have anything anymore for anybody. I guess that's something that can happen. But yeah, I mean, I think you got to do something if you can.
Yeah. Hearing stuff like this, and again, I guess the average person probably wouldn't bump into it unless you like have your own business. Do y'all think there should be more of a precedent to like put stuff on paper? Or
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
There should be, but like in rap, like something like this, or I guess to take it
No,
out.
I have my people shoot you a contract real quick. I think it could be done.
It could be, but like I'm saying, like if it was like a friend or something, or like an acquaintance that it wasn't the best friend, but I knew him pretty well, I wouldn't be inclined to, unless they had like a known history of flaking. I wouldn't be inclined to be like.
At the same time, there might have been something though, because you can't sue. I don't think you can sue just with maybe with verbal interaction. Like even if you had text or email, that's better than nothing. Because I think those can be used.
You know
what? Yeah, from legal perspective, I don't think he has just verbal communication to
yeah, he has something.
in court. He must have something.
You know what? I don't think I would ever I mean, this is kind of a loaded statement, I guess, because I don't know what the future, but I don't think I'm inclined to put myself in the position of expecting something from others for free.
Facts.
Yeah,
Like even if I do something for anybody, I did that for you, that's it. Like that's an isolated incident. Now, if I ask you for something in the future, I'm not thinking back to what I did for you in the past.
Right.
So,
I'm glad you said that.
That's definitely fair, but what if the person themselves offered of their
I'm like,
own?
no, I don't think I'm allowing them to even, or if they do, I'll be like, okay, but I don't think I'm going.
You're
back
not
to
using that.
as- yes.
You're not living with the expectation that this is a 1-for-1. Yeah, I'm the same way. If I give somebody something, I feel like it's just that like old like expression, like it's like don't give it with the expectation you're gonna get back. And obviously, there are some things that are like a business transaction, so it's not to say like you don't do anything, but yeah, for the most part, if I'm giving something away, if it comes back to me, whatever. But I'm not expecting I need that back in this particular fashion. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and if you do, and that's the other thing, like, I believe in that, and I say that, but like, why do people will literally say like, oh, I got you with this thing, like I will be there. You don't have to be a person that says I will do this. You can be like, I will try, I will do my best, I will work towards it. And obviously, that's not. I'm not saying those things make a person feel better about not getting back what they believe they're gonna get. But I'm just saying, like, people will literally say, "Yes, I'm doing this," and you don't have to do that. But I was saying, again, salute to Cam, salute to Cole for stuff that's outside of this specific transaction. And yeah, just in general, like if you should always try to stick to your word, and the vice versa. Don't ever. You're going to live a better life if you don't have to hold people to certain expectations, unfortunately. But if there's nothing else, we can move on. And I believe that is it for this podcast. Super apologies for all the scuffness. We got it kind of working in the end. It hasn't lagged out since I changed settings. Word of advice to all the content creators out there. Sometimes you got to just fail, do a restart, play with some settings. I know it can be aggy, especially when you're working on kind of like a time, but it is what it is. Before we wrap up, like we like to typically do, is there anything that we are looking forward to in the near future and the upcoming future? Just, general things we have to look forward to, what they say about it, something to look forward to.
For me, when Hamnet drops from the 1999 rental price, watching that.
When what drops from the what?
Dog.
In the movie.
It's pirate. God, I'm not even gonna say anything.
Christ. I'll say spring weather.
Hell yeah, man! The snow is and all the ice is finally starting to melt. It's just so crazy. Like, I don't want to get all philosophical, but it reminds me of this quote, or I don't know. Obviously, it wasn't his quote but I think most people have heard it from Eddie Murphy, talking about how we only have most people live 80 plus some odd years, closer to 75. So in reality, you only have 75 summers, and that's kind of seems like a small amount. And it's just so weird. A year can feel long, but sometimes we just generally forget how good it feels when the days are a bit longer, when the air is a little bit warmer, when the snow starts to melt. I don't know, maybe that's just me. It's just weird. We experience that 75 plus times, but it feels so great every time.
Yeah, actually, this year I don't know why, but particularly this year, spring is making me feel better, good. I don't know, not that I was feeling particularly bad. I was like, this is affecting. This is great. Spring.
Yeah, earlier I was talking about some things I want to try to do. I should probably have a more concerted plan before I say I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to some of the content I want to create. Yeah, I guess that's just about being more intentional. It sucks, but yeah, that's what it kind of boils down to. Is there anything else that we either miss? Anything to walk back? Anything else?
I don't think so.
Fair enough. Well, in that case, thank you guys for coming out here and doing this podcasting. Greatly appreciate y'all. Apologies for some of the hiccups, but I'm glad we stuck it out and got it done. We greatly appreciate any and all listeners, all the supporters, likers, engagers, subscribers. We're gonna keep pushing, and we're gonna a little bit shortly get to the point where we're in monetization status. And we just hope that by listening to our content, that you might have gained a perspective, or you might have learned something new, like the fact that give it 10 plus years, you might be able to walk up into a Petco or pet store and pick yourself up a pet raccoon. Or we just hope that you found it entertaining. And if none of that happened to you, then all we have to say to you is be warmed and filled. Thank you.